I call the member for Capalaba.
My question today is to the Minister for Youth Justice and Victim Support and Minister for Correction Services. Will the Minister provide an update on how the Christopher LNP government is reforming Queensland's youth justice system, and is their Minister aware of any alternate approaches?
Mr Speaker.
I call the Minister.
Mr Speaker, I thank the member for Capalaba for the question. We all know why the member for Capalaba stands in this House today. We all know his story and his fight to see change in this state. And we all know that the reason we have the tough laws in this state, the reason we have adult crime, adult time of the first tranche is in part due to the advocacy of the member for Capalaba. So I want to, at the outset, thank him for all of his work, his advocacy, his voice in support of victims. And I'm really pleased, Mr Speaker, to be able to update the member for Capalaba on the work that is being done by the Christopher government to reform youth justice in Queensland. We promised adult time, adult crime would be law before Christmas. We delivered on that promise. We promised an expert legal panel to review the next tranche of adult crime, adult time. We have delivered on that promise, and the next tranche of adult crime, adult time will be introduced in this House this week. But, Mr Speaker, we also promised early intervention and rehabilitation to turn young lives around. We have $100 million to establish gold standard early intervention, $50 million to expand programs that work, and $50 million to provide ongoing funding to those that are working. We have a $50 million regional reset fund, an early intervention program for youths at risk. We have $175 million to deliver staying on track, to provide every single youth that goes into detention with rehabilitation and hope. We also have our youth justice and early intervention schools, Mr Speaker. And on top of that, the Christopher government is delivering a professional victims advocacy service to be able to walk with victims through the whole process so they never fall through the cracks, Mr Speaker, so they never have to feel alone or repeat their stories, Mr Speaker. That is the work that the member for Capalaba has advocated for, and that is the Christopher government's plan to be able to turn the tide on youth crime in this state. And what is Labor's record in this? It is 10 years. 10 years of weakening our youth justice laws, of failing to intervene early and rehabilitate, of failing to have consequences for actions, and people like the member for Capalaba have paid the ultimate price for that, Mr Speaker. So the question for those opposite today, the question for every single member that sits in the Labor Party opposite us today is, will they back the strong laws that Queensland has voted for? Will they back adult crime, adult time in the second tranche, or will we see the same chaos and crisis that we saw with the first tranche? A divided Labor Party continuing to perpetuate chaos and crisis. That is the question for those opposite.